the hardest snowmobile track in Finland. That's an out and back trail of 110 kilometers to the highest mountain, Halti.
That's Halti.
The mission is to speed through the Finnish fells and make it to the summit and back safely, claiming peak 23 out of 50 on the peak project.
We're almost halfway there. Whoa!
But the extreme weather poses the greatest risk. The weather can drop and change in an instant to zero visibility.
That is where there's supposed to be a mountain.
As beginners to snowmobiling, we were nervous about what could happen. Coming from Rovaniemi, we were arriving in Kilpisjarvi, our base for the next few days.
It's crazy to think that the reason we came to Finland was to do this. Originally, the plan was to do a 7-day cross-country ski tour up to the top. For various reasons, it didn't go through. I was pretty sad to cancel it, but it is what it is.
We would get a taste of cross-country skiing in the fells anyways. For my partner, it was his first time ever cross-country skiing.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Woo! Middle of nowhere.
Finland.
Yeah.
So you can actually go in these pre-made tracks.
Speed demon. Yee! Well done, babes.
Breaking for me.
Go on. How was that?
Definitely not as scary as altitude.
No?
No, because the tracks keep you in line.
The funny thing is stopping. We asked a couple of locals how you're supposed to stop when going downhill, because there's no option to pizza like in downhill skiing. And her reply was, the snow is soft.
Oh no! Let's go, Speed Racer! This is so awesome. Round 2.
We'd rented the skis for the whole day, so we were making the most of it even though we could see the weather turning. The hope was still to do the snowmobile journey the next day, and I was nervous it wasn't going to happen.
We're starting on this frozen lake, which apparently doesn't start thawing for another 2-3 months. So I feel a little bit safer knowing that. These blue poles are here to kind of guide us through. Session 2 begins. We just got a little bit of bad news. It is what it is. We had planned to do Halti tomorrow. I just got a phone call from our guide and he said the weather here in Kilpisjarvi, not so bad. But out in the mountains, he said there's wind gust, it wouldn't be safe. So we have to try and reschedule for Tuesday. So keeping my fingers and my toes crossed. There's nothing you can do about it. So we're out here on our skis just enjoying life anyways. How do you feel your first day ever cross-country skiing?
Going downhill is very hard.
Yeah.
You go very fast. We've decided to turn back. If you see behind us, there's nothing but whiteness.
That is where there's supposed to be a mountain. It's no wonder we're not doing Halti tomorrow.
What do you think?
Oh, just a great day. I love this shit. I grew up in Canada and a lot of winters I would spend with my family and I would get to drive the skidoo. Well, actually what it was is I had my hands on the handlebars and my grandpa would be there and kind of guiding. This peak is dedicated to my grandpa. He had early onset Alzheimer's and he actually passed away in a snowmobile accident. So this one is really meaningful to me and I'm doing it in his honor. Grandpa, this one's for you.
I was hoping we'd get a weather window another day, But this day would not be wasted. We'd still get outside. Here in the town, it didn't seem so bad, but the mountains are a different situation.
Another day in winter paradise. We're on a winter hike. So over there is Sweden, over there is Norway, and this is still Finland. Norway!
Oh, babes.
This part of the Nordics is really interesting because you do have the 3 country borders. Hopefully tomorrow we will be able to go there and check it out. Bless you, he might cause an avalanche.
While we were on our way back, we got great news. The snowmobile expedition was on for tomorrow.
Home sweet home! Knock knock!
I'm a sucker for a good campfire session, especially when it involves food.
Should we put the beers in the fridge?
What fridge?
Pretty big.
You might lose the beer. Can you hear me?
You almost lost the beer.
Clap twice if you can hear me. Dedication. Oh shit!
I got my foot wet. Oh.
I'm sorry, I'm laughing. Are you okay?
Yeah.
Oh no! Well, I love these little campfire cabins. This is so cool. They have everything here for you. As the flames were dancing, I was imagining what Halti had in store for us. But honestly, also how delicious these sausages with this Finnish flatbread would be.
And it's real mustard.
Best mustard in the world. This one is the Finnish one.
Cheers.
Cheers. Cheers to Finland. Every time I'm about to do something new and throw myself into unknown territory, I get the excited jitters. Gotta get all our warmest clothes on. Got a liter of water, a couple of natural energy drinks, sunscreen. Papa's got the sandwiches in his backpack. I didn't know what it would be like to ride through the terrain. I didn't know if the weather would take a drastic change.
Hello, pumpkin.
It's 6 hours, 110 kilometers. It is the hardest snowmobile track in Finland. There's a saying I fell in love with when I was in the Moomin store in Helsinki. It went like this: all things are so very uncertain, and that's exactly what makes me feel reassured.
Woo, let's go. Oh. We had like a 15-minute briefing after we put all of the gear on.
And our guide, amazing. He was a great teacher, super patient. Yeah. Phenomenal.
So, Ollie, if you're watching, thank you so much. You are amazing.
You're a legend.
Yeah.
We'll get down to the lake first. We'll do some S-turns.
Okay.
You'll get to see like what to do with the turning.
He explained how the snowmobile worked, and I was nervous beforehand, but then once I started going, I calmed down a lot and it was pretty easy.
Kwampa would be the first driver, and what we didn't know at the time was he would drive 86% of the way. There was a point I knew I needed to be the passenger. You'll see why.
We're 15 kilometers in.
It was my first ever time, and it was pretty challenging because you need to learn how to be able to lean with your body to make sure you turn properly. And there has been a lot of snow, which made it a lot of fun, but also very challenging.
The first stop was at the 3-country border, and I already needed to pee. There was no bush in sight. Now I have a big shout out to my patrons because their contributions helped with the snowmobile rental. Thank you all so much for helping make this happen and bring this content to the world.
Don't forget the thing that's attached to your suit.
I forgot again.
Wow, look at that one.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Oh.
Little nature pee. Oh, a dry toilet. Nice. They've thought of everything.
We actually fell once and we were going like 3 kilometers an hour and it started leaning to the side, and then the people in front of us also were leaning a little bit, so they were pretty close, so I couldn't accelerate, and we just fell in slow motion like sideways.
I was in the back and I'm just like, oh, here we go. And
Pretty much there. That's Halti.
Crazy. It opened up. Yeah. As you see, all these clouds went away. So we're going to do it now. Get up.
Okay.
And get down before these clouds come back in. Okay.
Okay.
When you start the engine, it's forward. There's like a button here.
it was go time. We stopped to switch into sport mode.
Yeah.
Okay. Steady speed will just climb up easy. Now you see the bump? You don't need to drive any faster above it. Okay. You can go over. You need to jump.
No jumping over the bump.
No,
Yes. Okay.
please don't.
Oh, you were filming? Oh,
Yeah.
Alright, let me get some beef here to get the sports mode on.
Oh, it's got this hair tickling me.
I don't know if it was a good idea for him to tell me that there is a sports mode.
No, amor, be smart, please.
But I kind of wanted you to try it out.
But right now? Are you kidding me? You've had so much experience already, and I would be doing the hardest part without driving it at all. That doesn't make any sense. It's gonna be a bit difficult to film, I think.
Why?
Because when I'm filming, I can only hang on with one hand.
I think we are a couple of kilometers away from Halti. What do you think, baby?
Like,
Was it a good experience so far?
yeah, I'm actually really glad I'm not driving. I'm super happy being a passenger right now. The last stretch was so bumpy, and like you have to lean so much.
Yeah. All right, we're good to
Good.
go.
Now we would climb, and this would be one of the hardest parts that required both of us to lean properly and stay focused. The leaning and movement got to a point where it was so hard to film because I couldn't hang on.
Woo!
Great driving.
That was fun.
That last bit was intense.
Top of Finland. Let's go.
Peak 23. Oh. I mean, he did all the hard work.
You did the leaning too.
Yeah.
Hey, it's a two-person walk.
Yeah.
Leaning and filming.
All right. Do your dance. Do your dance. Here we go.
It's awesome. Here, your turn, go. Slippery. Okay, let's sign the book, babes.
The weather was taking a turn, so we would have a limited time at the top.
April 10 maybe?
But wow, did it ever feel good to be there and with Wampy. A beginner to expert snowmobile driver. He's actually one of the best drivers I've been in a vehicle with, so I always feel safe. Even though I was excited about the peak, I was nervous about my impending turn. I knew I had to try, but I was hesitant.
There's a switch. Probably going to...
The people in our group were absolutely amazing, so kind and very interesting. They were all Finns, and most had fallen in love with this part of Finland. It is magical. Some didn't speak English, but we knew one thing for sure. They loved coffee.
After we had like our lunch and our break, then the guide said this would be a good time if you're gonna try it to try it. And I was actually really hesitant because I knew this part was like really bumpy and stuff. And I was kind of doubting my skills. Like, this is just something that happens, is sometimes I just doubt myself. And part of the reason of me doing this project is putting myself out there and doing things that sincerely challenge me.
Yeah.
hard. Like I was so focused and I was like doing this and I was trying to remember the leaning and moving my butt, and like the machine is so heavy. Yeah, and then we found out that I was driving on sports mode,
which allows the machine to give it all the torque. And it actually jerks a lot, and it goes fast.
We were going to the frozen waterfall, which I think is the largest waterfall in Finland, which is really cool, and it's beautiful. And so we had to go like off the actual track. And so it was like backcountry snowmobiling, and I was like, oh my god. And after I got off, I didn't tell Juanpa this, but I was like shaking. I was like, I'm not doing this again. I don't think I can go back, because I knew, even though nobody had told me, that after that stop we were gonna go straight back, and I knew I couldn't do.
Yeah, because on the way there we stopped like 3-4 times. Yeah. On the way back we just flew back basically. And
it was hard conditions. Like, kudos to you, man. I'm glad you found it fun, but the conditions, especially for the first time.
I just like engines and I like to go fast.
Like you can see, this is the hiking track. We went around, so it's as flat as possible.
I didn't think it was going to be that difficult. Yeah. I have mad respect for snowmobilers now.
Ski-doers. And you said it's the hardest?
Hardest track in Finland. First one. Easy, easily.
Beauty expert.
Thank you, Oli.
Good job, guys.
Thank you, thanks a lot.
At the end of the trip, we were putting our gear away and thanking our guide for everything. I told a local about my project and that Halti was peak 23. She asked me if I actually counted it because I didn't climb it, and to that I said, it was definitely a challenge. I tried something new when I thought I couldn't do it. It was one big adventure that I'll never forget. So yeah, it counts. But that doesn't mean I won't come back on foot one day. So don't be afraid to try new things and just get outside. You never know what you'll learn about the world and yourself.
How do you feel, peak 23?
Good. Now I just gotta prepare for that ultramarathon and pump 2 out in one day.
Cut.
I think that's it.
Oh. I'm so hot.
Alright, good job.
Oh, can I fart now?
Ew.